Hogue Orthopedic Institute. When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hogue Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. Visit HogueOrthopedicInstitute.com to get the help you need today.
Now live from the epicenter of sports in the Southland, LA Live right across the street from Crypto.com Arena. Here he is, the one and only Mike Trudell.
What's up, everybody? Let's go. Welcome. By the way, not Mike Trudell, actually Chris McGee today, hosting Lakers Talk, and I'm rolling with the producer, having an unbelievable all-star type of year here in 2026, Michael Funches, and the all-ball-knowing board ops, DeAndre Hawkins.
What's going on?
What is going on, my peeps? Let's get cracking here today. I want to get on some calls, too. We're taking those tonight. 877-710-ESPN. That's 877-710-3776. We got a 2-hour show ahead. 3-time NBA champion Danny Green's going to join us at 6:45.
3 different franchises, huh?
3 titles.
3 titles with 3 different franchises, right?
3 titles with 3 different franchises.
Yes. Toronto.
Only 4 guys in the history of the league have done that. Toronto, go ahead. Give me the other 2.
Toronto, San Antonio, and obviously Lakers.
Obviously the Lakers. He's going to join us 6:45, 9:45 East Coast time. We appreciate that. We'll talk NBA Finals. We'll talk Lakers with Danny. I also get to work with him at Spectrum. He's awesome. Dan Wojcicki from The Athletic will join us in the second hour. We're getting his takes on the Lakers offseason. I know people are excited about that. But here's the deal, guys. No Mike Trudell tonight. He's being a great dad and a great husband. He's calling in next segment. I promise you he has a good excuse for missing the show and leaving us here solo without him, our captain. But you know what, DeAndre? Sometimes, my brother, when the captain misses the game, the team rises up without him or her and gets the job done. It reminds me of when Cap, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, sprained his ankle in the 1980 finals. Lakers were going back to Philly, up 3-2 for Game 6. It was 20-year-old rookie from East Lansing, Michigan, Irvin Magic Johnson. He jumped center, 42 points, 15 boards, 7 assists to win the series. At age 20, MVP of the finals. That's 46 years ago. But can you imagine, guys, a performance like that during the age of social media? I always think about that stuff. All those great moments in your life before social media, if you're old enough. That was one that I think breaks it, that crashes Twitter. Kobe's 81 comes to mind as well. But Magic at 20 going off in a closeout game to win it and get finals MVP, today's day and age, he's immediately in the GOAT conversation.
I mean, some people are already amazed by Dylan Harper yesterday.
Dylan Harper, same age.
Same age.
That's like him going for 42, 15, and 7 and winning finals MVP
He only
and
had 12
jumping
points
center.
He only had 12 points yesterday.
And playing the center position. So my point to you guys, it's not just on me. I mean, it mostly is, as Morales pointed out in Crosstalk. But it's also DeAndre, it's also Funches, and it's also the listeners. It's also the guys in the chat room. It's up to us to have a great show without our captain and our leader, Mike Trudell.
Man, you know what the crazy thing is about that, though? Is that you brought up social media, and you brought up Magic Johnson.
Yep.
Can you imagine if social media were around that time where Magic Johnson dropping that 40-point game? Because he's already famous enough just walking around right now. Even our generation, we still know who Magic Johnson is.
I mean, are there moments in your life, like I think about it, Kobe's 81 obviously pops in my head, like I said, but imagine the angles we would have of Robert Horry's big shot Bob in 2002 Game 4 at then Staples Center to win against the Kings. You would get so many different angles and so many crowd reactions. Those kind of things. Kirk Gibson, if you're a Dodger fan. I mean, the 1988 home run in Game 1. We kind of saw it with Freddie.
I was going to say.
So we know what that would have been like. But there are just so many moments in my life where I say, man, I just can't imagine it happening in social media because of how social media has changed everything. But Magic's performance, DeAndre, always sticks up at the top for me.
I mean, it's crazy because of course, I didn't grow up, watching Magic. I was, you might laugh.
Wow, to be young.
Yeah, I was.
You're a young guy.
I'm a young guy. I was born in 98. So my upbringing was definitely Kobe, definitely LeBron era. So that was my upbringing. So that's when social media was starting to rise and starting to build more as far as all the different platforms we are seeing. So
1998. I was 27 years old, having the time. I was a PE teacher.
Wow.
And an athletic director and a coach, and just starting to get into announcing the AVP in 1998 and partying pretty hard, having a good time.
Did they call you Gator back then, or was that something that kind of...
They called me Geeter. I've been Geeter for a long time.
Okay. How long?
1987.
Get out of here.
Yeah, 1987.
So we're coming up on the anniversary of that name.
Yeah, it'll be 40. So there's a story behind it.
Okay.
If you're interested.
I am very
I
interested.
actually told it a couple weeks ago.
Who cares? We're
on
going
the
to listen to it
Travis
again.
and DeMarco show. So I'll just say it again because a lot of people get confused sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, not many people call me Chris anymore. Maybe a couple from my childhood that I'll run into from a long time ago. My mom and dad who are no longer with us. But everyone, I mean, my kids, friends, parents, players of mine in the past, everyone I work with, it's been Geeter. In 1987, and I'm glad you asked because there's a little Laker tied to it. I was in chemistry class at Crespi High School, all-boys school in the Valley.
Ooh.
Okay? A guy in my class, Johnny Gates, was sitting in front of me. He was a year ahead of me, okay? But he was taking chemistry. And he turned around, and he just started calling me Geeter, asked for a pen, Geeter, just started calling me Geeter. I would say by my junior year and for sure my senior year, that's what everyone called me, okay? So I go to college, I'm Geeter. I start working, I'm in my 20s, I'm going out, I'm having fun, I'm meeting new people, meet my wife, and in 1997, we start dating in 2000. I'm Geeter to everyone. I never know the story. In 2004, I'm hosting radio for a Lakers-Pistons pregame with Paul Sunderland, the voice of the Lakers at the time. And he asked me point blank on the air, where'd you get the nickname Geeter? And I told him exactly what I told you guys. Oh, Johnny Gates in high school, chemistry class, Crespi High School. He literally looked at me, and Paul known me a long time. He was in the volleyball world. He won a gold medal in '84 at the Olympics. He says, that's a terrible story. And I had to kind of sit on that and suck on that for a long time. He goes, you got to get a better story. Well, I'm not going to make one up. It kind of bothered me at the time, but he was right. It's really not, funny or good. So fast forward to 2012, 2013. I'm now living my dream, and I'm literally hosting Lakers pre and post. It's Time Warner Cable Sportsnet at the time. Our first season 14 years ago. Mm-hmm. James Worthy to my left because I used to sit in the middle the first couple of years. Byron Scott to my right. Woo. We're at a commercial break. And think about this, guys, as Laker fans. Mm-hmm. I'm living the dream. And during commercials, those guys, Byron and James, are always telling stories. They're going back and forth. Big game. And Byron started talking about Geeter. And I have no idea what they're talking about. And I look at him, I go, what are you guys talking about? They go, Geeter, the original Geeter, our teammate, Mike McGee. And it hits me. Did Johnny Gates know that in 1987? Mike McGee went to Michigan, played for the Lakers 5 years in the 80s, 81 to 86. He was a role player. I didn't know much about him. He won 2 championships. 10 more years goes by. 2022, I go to lunch with the president of Crespi High School, Dr. Ken Forsch.
Ooh,
we're sitting there at lunch. He looks at me. He goes, oh, you know whose kid is going to go to Crespi next year? He just moved back from Texas. I go, who? Johnny Gates.
Get out of here.
I go, Doc, you're not going to believe the story. I tell him, I go, I'm curious if he knows that Mike McGee was called Geeter. The next day, he goes, I'm going to see him tomorrow. It's the welcome picnic for freshmen.
What?
FaceTime. I pick it up. It's Johnny Gates. Haven't seen him in over 20 years. I go, Johnny, what's up? He's like, what's up, Geeter? I go, Johnny, I got to ask you. Before I could even get the question out, he goes, of course I called you Geeter because of Mike McGee. Don't you remember all the Michigan shirts I used to wear? My dad was a Michigan alum, and I was a ball boy when I was a little kid at the Laker games at the Forum. Of course that's why I called you Geeter. So it made me just so happy to know that, number one, my nickname came after a Showtime Laker, and that the story finally comes full circle. Do the math, a lot of years later.
Wow. That's a great story.
Literally.
Seriously.
35 years later.
You didn't have to make up a story.
Pretty wild.
Now, this is around the same timeline as far as The Price is Right, Geeter as well.
Why you got to go there? Jean Shorts Geeter was 1994. Let's not get it twisted. But honestly, it was so that's the nickname story right there. Sorry to go deep into that.
No, I enjoyed it.
Mike Trudell's going to call us right after this a little bit. We're going to get into the NBA Finals. We have so much to talk about when it comes to the NBA Finals. I also want to get into some Austin Reeves. guys a little bit. I know we're going to talk that later in the show. Like, I want to get Danny's take. I want to get Dan's take. I feel like there's mixed emotions out there from Laker fans. Reports are that he will be seeking the max that he can get. And of course he will. I mean, that's the agent's job, is to get him the maximum that he can. It's also what Austin Reeves has worked for. He's on a great contract right now, very team friendly. But here's a guy that was born in a Laker uniform. He's 28 years old. He's gotten better every single year. So Austin Reeves, of course, he has to look at the most that he can get. I know he wants to be a Laker, but I know Laker fans are kind of torn at the number. And I want to mention this as we go into this during the show. Austin Reeves, if he's seeking $40 million a year, $42 million a year, DeAndre, his cap hold is $21 million. So it's not like if he goes somewhere else and we let him walk for free, that you can just give $40 million to someone else. It's a $21 million cap hold. So I just think that that's important for Laker fans and for myself to understand that as we move forward with the Austin Reeves talk. So I'm curious to get those guys' reaction.
That's a lot of money, man.
It's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And I get it. And we'll go into it later why I think, he's a Laker and he's worth it. But Mike Trudell is going to join us, I believe, from the Little League field. We will see. Mike Trudell, the host of Lakers Talk. I'm Geeter, coming up next on ESPN LA 710.
Mason and Ireland, the OGs of LA sports talk.
We're talking to Myles Garrett. What would a Super Bowl championship mean to you?
Honestly, everything. I can't sit here and tell you I don't want to win more DPO-wise and all pros and all that. You want to have that team success. You want to have individual success. But we got to get a ring. And, hell, I want to get a ring in L.A. And I want to do it desperately.
Mason and Ireland, weekdays at noon on 710 ESPN, the ESPN LA app, and on YouTube.
DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, California. The whole world is watching one tournament right now. Group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in California. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you're in on every single minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in California, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with code LA710, spend $5 to get $200 in total rewards. That's code LA710 in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim, issued in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms, dkng.co/predictions promo.
In a contracting business, you're either growing or you're grinding. Success is no longer about hard work alone. It's about using AI to accelerate impact. ServiceTitan is the only integrated intelligence that seamlessly automates your entire workflow, from first call to final invoice. Born in the trades, built for visionaries ready to stop operating and start automating. ServiceTitan, AI for the trades.
Progressive knows there's no one more important to your team than your pet. They're like your top draft pick.
And it looks like Chuck has selected Pepper the Corgi. Bold pick there, Deborah.
Yeah, Rich, Pepper has a high ceiling for sure, but he does have a tendency to bark at every tree.
Yeah, he brings a lot to the table, but also takes a lot off of it, especially when it's been left near the edge.
Nothing left to do now but suit him up for the dog park.
Protect your top draft pick from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms.
This is Lakers Talk with Mike Trudell on your home of Lakers basketball. ESPN LA, 710 AM on the all-new ESPN LA app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
What's up? What's up? We got DeAndre. We got Funches. I'm Peter. Chilling right here in the studios in downtown Los Angeles. ESPN LA 710 877-710-3776 877-710 ESPN. Now, last night I got to watch the game. We do this every single year. We get our Laker crew together over at the Dubbers house. Jerry Weinstein, he's the director in-game for the home games. Mark Shaw, producer, Johnny Ireland, my boss, AJ, my old boss, Jared Stacy, runs Amazon Sports, Billy Mack, and, of course, Michael Trudell was there. That was the best time we've ever had watching a finals game. A lot of times you don't get games like that. It's been an incredible series. I told you guys to start the show. It's on all of us to have a great show because our captain is not here, but he has a good reason. Laker reporter Mike Trudell joining us. Mike?
Peter, first of all, this is our show, buddy. Okay?
Yeah, buddy.
It's not just my show. It's you and me. All right, we're going to have Morales change the imaging to make sure that it says Trudell and Geeter. And frankly, not only that, but Funchy, DeAndre, huge part of the show. So really, the four of us, it's our show. If you want to call me the captain, that's fine. I mean, you are also the voice of the Lakers in many ways as the host of the pre- and the post-game show and halftime, mind you. So I just want you to feel empowered, and I'm just grateful that everybody got to hear the Geeter story. And I'm also grateful to be calling this from a Little League game, Hermosa on the board. Nice little single here from Elon after the Twins both got on base. So
what is the score?
Play-by-play.
What is the score right now in the game?
It is now 2-1. So we're playing West Torrance. West Torrance capitalized on a couple errors in the first inning. But I like the way that we have no outs here. And we got first and third with our 5 batter up. So
starting to roll, buddy. I love you have your I'm a dad watching my sons play baseball voice going. The Dodgers, by the way, are up 12-2, an absolute shellacking over the Pittsburgh Pirates. But what we needed, we talked about this on Crosstalk with Travis and DeMarco and Morales. And by the way, happy birthday to DeMarco. Where in the order are Jet and Talon?
So Jet second, Talon third.
Wow.
For the All-Star team here, and then Jet plays short and Talon plays third. So they usually kind of share the side of the infield together, which is fun because I don't have to adjust my angle. I can just kind of stare at that side of the. Get down, Talon.
You know what, man? Tie game 2-2. Love to hear it. And listen, we were talking about. Travis, obviously a baseball player, played for the Gauchos, knows a ton about the game. We looked at each other and said it might be more important to know where they are in the order. Because if you said the kids were batting 8-9, we would have said, you know what, Mike, maybe soccer's the right way to go. But 2-3, that's what I'm talking about.
Well, look, I'll just put it this way, though, too. Hermosa, nice little cozy community out here, right, Geeter? Like, once you get to Costa, I don't know if we'd be in 2-3 in the lineup there. That's where the soccer starts to come out.
Hey, Mike, it's also a special day for someone else, not just DeMarco. Would you like to break that news? And this is why you're missing the show, for real.
Well, it's my wife's birthday. And so that was kind of all things being equal. It was like, look, I'd love to be there with you in the studio, but frankly, I talked to Funches about it, and I said, if I really think that we should just have Geeter debut solo style today. He's so much better at this than he realizes. So we've been basically pushing you for years. You're a natural. You're a great storyteller. Just got a way about you, and I just kind of wanted to kick back and listen. And God, you just crushed the first segment. I can't wait to hear what comes up. So this is all planned. Shout out to Annie. Appreciate that for the birthday. I'm glad to be here at the baseball game. But really, I just wanted to hear you. I want to hear you cook solo, buddy.
But listen, man, you know me, and for the listeners that don't, I'm about the team. I don't need to get my numbers. I learned really quickly when I got the Laker job. Nobody gives a rat's ass what you say. We want to hear from Big Game James, Robert Horry, Fish, Danny Green, Byron, the entire crew.
Disagree.
I know you disagree with that, but I also like doing the team stuff here. That's why I'm glad Funchy and DeAndre are here, because I like everyone involved. I like the chat room too. I always hear guys say, dude, you do not go into the chat room. It's hell in there. I love it. That's what it's about for me.
Well, you're a man of the people.
Yeah,
you're a man of the people.
That's the best
and you
part.
can relate, Geeter, because you grew up here and you have all the feels and the emotions of the chat room. Like, it can be harder for somebody like me that's from afar, that has covered the Lakers for many years. But, it's a different type of passion that you have in your heart for the purple and gold. So you can relate to those vibes, buddy.
Yeah, and you know what, Mike? I think I learned this young in the business, and it was much harder when I was a younger guy. That, listen, not everyone is going to like what you say, and I think that's part of being in the business, and I've understood that. I don't think anyone's going to hate you personally. They might. I mean, it was tough, I think, when you and I were like the first faces they would see when we only won 17 games. But I think over time, people, start to relate to us, and they realize what kind of love we have. I mean, I'm Lakers out of the womb. Dodgers, for me, I'm an LA guy. I'm never leaving. I've been in SoCal 54 years. I'm not going anywhere. All right. So whoever wants to leave our state, go ahead. I don't care. All right. But I love SoCal, and I'm staying for life. So fans, at the end of the day, we relate. And if we want to talk smack to each other, that's great too. But all right, Mike, listen, I want to get into this, and I want to start with the NBA Finals.
Let's do it.
I meant to do it in the first segment, but of course I was just rambling on, telling a story about my nickname. That took up a lot of time. Also telling a little thing about Magic and Kareem. Basically, I called you Kareem the GOAT. I mean, I was basically saying you're our captain and you weren't here.
I mean, look, again, I was listening,
Okay.
And I didn't. I also, by the way, I have not made an error yet on the Game Changer, right, which is important.
Yeah.
So the multitasking. Thankfully, this is a part of my job when you're watching a game and then you're also reporting at the same time. But the way that you led into it, Geeter, I didn't want you to change it. I didn't want you to get to the finals yet. I wanted you to introduce the segment. You spent a little time with Funchy. Yeah. Cool. You spent a little time on me, and then I got to wait until I can come on and talk finals with you because you and I watched it together while having a beverage or two last night.
Yeah, man. Listen, we had a good time watching the game together. I was telling our audience before that it was probably the most fun we've had watching an NBA Finals game together because we do this once a year. Game 3, Madison Square Garden. Knicks have an opportunity for a knockout punch to go up 3-0 in front of their home crowd. They're 53 years in waiting for an NBA championship, but the young Spurs, Wemby, Castle, Harper, Fox, they find a way to get it done. What were your takeaways from that game when you thought about it this morning?
Well, so I think that for the most part, I still believe the Knicks just have the better system as to how they're going to get shots, how they're going to create shots, and how I think they can wear down the Spurs as the series ends. But I didn't think they got to as much of that in Game 3. And really from the point where Brunson took the elbow or whatever it was, the motion in the back of the head from Wemby, I just felt like Brunson went more into the ISO kind of, oh, yeah, you want to play that game? Like, we'll see. I felt like he went more into that and less into the way that the Knicks had been playing and running so much of their stuff through Karl Anthony Towns and just having it be kind of an equal opportunity offense. And same thing with, like, Bridges gets the 2 fouls. I hated how the game was called. And you know me, Chris, I'm not the person to start to complain about refs all the time. But I just thought they were calling it too tight. There were a million whistles. The game took forever, and they didn't let it flow. And that, to me, was at the expense of the Knicks. So that I just didn't, for all of those reasons and kind of all of those elements, that to me is why I'm not that worried if I'm the Knicks. I think you come back out, you play much better in Game 4. Brunson starts sharing the basketball a little more, doesn't have to do the mano-a-mano stuff, at least until the 4th, and they can kind of restore order as to the way that they're playing. With that said, I think you give some credit to the Spurs for sure. Nice play, Jet at short. And I think that's just kind of the bottom line for me, Peter. It didn't change what I think the outcome will be for the series. How about you?
No, it didn't for me either, Mike. And, I'm going to talk about it a little later in the show, but if I'm a Knicks fan, I still feel really good about where we are. I feel like the Knicks have a little of that mojo. I feel like they're a team of destiny. I've said it to you many times, that 2011 Mavs vibe. I still believe in that. They're up 2-1. I believe they'll be right there in Game 4. And I actually think every single game in this series is going to be tight. I mean, this could easily be going the other way. I mean, those first 2 games were both tied with 90 seconds left, but the Knicks were better at the end of games. I think they're more organized. I like their offense better. I like the way the ball moves. They're getting better shots. So much ISO ball, as you and I talked about last night when we were watching the game together, for the San Antonio Spurs. And the Spurs have a little bit of panic in them, especially when they have leads or the game is tight at the end. But last night they got over the hump with that, thanks to Stephon Castle, who we'll get to in a little bit. So maybe, just maybe, we'll see a different Spurs team in terms of their confidence. But I wanted to ask you, Mike, because you spent a lot of time with Phil Jackson back in the day, and he was the master. Did you agree with Mike Brown and what he said about the officiating, because you mentioned it?
Just a little bit. Like I don't know that it was a super biased whistle, like as in like the Spurs are getting every call. But I just thought that the officials that the NBA chose in this case, and start with Mark Davis as the crew chief, he calls a tight game. Okay, that's just what he does. He doesn't take any back talk from anybody. If it's close, he's going to call the foul. And I think that in a finals game, it's more to me about the spirit of the game. And to take like a Zach Zarba type of a referee or a Scott Foster, where okay, we understand this is going to be a physical game. You got to let them play some. If both teams want to scrap, if both teams want to go back and forth, right? If this is you at Crespi High, and the official comes up and he sees you and he remembers your brother and what a baller your brother was, and he's thinking, all right, this is a McGee. All right, I got to let this guy go. I got to let him feel the flow tonight. I can't just be blowing the whistle every 2 seconds because he's elbowing somebody. This is the way that he plays. And I didn't think that element was there. And that, to me, much favored the Spurs because they essentially, Geeter, got to set their half-court defense because there was a whistle every 2 seconds. And the Knicks weren't able to get into that nice passing game and that nice transition flow game that they like to get into. So I thought that the whistle, it wasn't like it was biased necessarily, but the style of the whistles just really favored the Spurs.
You know, Mike, you must have been listening to Funchy and I earlier in the day when we met and talked and we're sitting in the conference room because you brought it up, and I completely agree with you. And you and I did not talk about this last night, and that's Karl Anthony Towns. I have in my notes that I thought they went away from him. He had been so good in the first 2 games. He only got 10 field goal attempts, and I thought that was a disservice. Now, I know Brunson's the man. I know they were relying on the 3 ball, but they were 0 for 10 until they hit those 2 late threes with Brunson and OG. And I felt Cat needed the rock down the stretch because he has been confident and he has been great. He could also stretch the floor. So I'm going to ask you this, Mike, as a Minnesota native and a former, Minnesota T-Wolves fan, Karl Anthony Towns at 30 years old is becoming and growing into, I think, the guy that everyone hoped he would be. Do you feel like he's changed the narrative during this playoffs on what people have always said about him?
Oh, 100%, Peter. It's a great call out by you, and he's done it in a quick manner of time. By the way, quick shout out, Tommy Wachvogel, your buddy, former volleyball stud, little double.
Okay, is it 2-2?
Yes, 2-2. But Aaron's kid took a little shot here to left. Okay,
Yep.
So Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, it's tricky when you have a number 1 pick because the expectation stays with you for an entire career. So if you're not playing at a clear all-star level, really from the start, then you start to get the doubt. And then Cat is, he's a little bit of a quirky personality. I think overall he's a great guy, though. People love him. He's just like a genuinely nice human who can be a little goofy at times. And so when you mix some of the fouls and just the way that he looks awkward on the court and some of the playoff series of the past, I think that he developed a certain type of reputation. Like for me, it was less about that part of it and just the fact that you could pick on him for a number of years as a target, right? You could bring him out in the perimeter, and he wasn't quite able to hold up defensively. Well, that started to change for me first, Geeter, back when the Timberwolves played against the Nuggets, and he did a great job on Jokic. And then it was like, well, okay, hold on a second. If he's doing a good job on Jokic, like he's doing something right. So maybe we should stop judging bigs just based on if they get called out on the perimeter and have to switch. Because I also think, and I want to kick this back to you, a few years ago, it seemed like that's what was happening to every big. Remember all that narrative about Rudy Gobert and how he couldn't defend and he stunk? And I think maybe that just came down to teams not yet knowing how to scheme behind the big man in the switch. And everybody's gotten better at that. You know what I'm saying, Geeter? Do you think that's true?
It's such a great point by you. And I think we all just labeled Rudy Gobert because Luka Doncic put him on skates. By the way, he puts everyone on skates, and everyone saw it on the biggest stage. And Dallas won that series, and then he gets played off the court in the Olympics. But I think you're right. People have learned how to defend it behind him. And now you look at Rudy Gobert and the job that he did in the playoffs in ISOs this year. Can you find me a better big than what he was doing in these playoffs? So you got to let guys mature through it as well. I think we're so fast to judge because, listen, as fans, and me included, you're in a win-now mentality. You're in the day and age where, especially here in L.A., someone doesn't do it, someone doesn't win right away, fire them or trade them, and that's just kind of the way it is in this day and age. Thank God, teams in the past, the Showtime Lakers, when they lost, they stuck together, and I feel like that sometimes you're going to lose on the big stage. And you have to, as a general manager and a franchise, go, can we win with this group? Do we need one piece, or do we need to cut bait and start over? And that is a hard decision to make. But you look at Karl Anthony Towns and what he's been able to do, you got to be happy for him. Mike, this is Laker talk, so I got to get to that really quick. Austin Reeves has been a big topic. You and I have talked ad nauseum about it, whether it's on our show at Spectrum or whether it's here at ESPN LA 710. Mixed emotions by a fan base, and we know it's because of the number. It's not the player. People love Austin Reeves. He's Laker born, right? Undrafted, came here on a two-way, immediately signed to the regular team. He's been here 5 years, and every single year he has absolutely gotten better. He's 28 years old. He is, per reports, wanting a number. He wants a max, and that's their job, is to get him that. Now, we don't know what the deal is going to be. I still hope he's in a Laker uniform, but I do understand fans that get a little weary of that number. You and I talked on our show yesterday. The cap hold is $21 million. So it's not like you get $40 million to spread around to everybody. What do you think, Austin Reeves? Where is he at right now for you?
I think you set that up perfectly, Geeter. It's that, like, at the end of the day, right, we're talking about a range of maybe $10 million, right, at the point of, like, where I think the hardest of hardcore Laker fans who watches every game and kind of maybe is even a little bit harsh on Austin based on some of the defensive stuff, or even just that he's not, 6'8" and super long and can guard anybody, not even saying that he's not a good defender. And then that he can be a number one, can kind of carry your offense for portions of the season, but maybe not in a full playoff series, at least not in the way that the top 5 guys in the league can do it. And really, that's the number, right, Geeter?
Yep.
Maybe it's 6, maybe it's 7 guys, but so the difference then between, $48 million and then like $38 million. And if you say, oh, you get Austin Reeves at $38 million, like everybody's like, great, like what a value contract. But if you get him at $48 million, it's like, I don't know, right? Yeah. And it's not enough of a gap to me where they can't sort of meet somewhere in the middle. And especially just given the relationship between Austin and the city, Austin and the fans. I mean, I'm trying to think, Eater, is there a player since Kobe, right, that is more popular because of like growing up as a Laker, the story that like his grandma being a big Kobe fan, and then he's undrafted and then he makes the team right away, and then he's contributing to the playoffs and the I am him and so on, and he's getting better every year. He would have been an all-star, and there just aren't that many players like that. Like you had Caruso to an extent on a similar path, and then he wins the title, but then he's not back, and Austin's still here, and I feel like that even that what we just talked about right there, that's all the more reason why. Okay, come on. Let's just make sure that he stays in purple and gold, right?
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm with you on that. We get attached to guys. The one thing when Kobe passed, and I would never forget going on Jim Rome's show and talking about Kobe and saying he was ours. He was ours. We watched it all. The triumphs, the failures, the triumphs again. The last game, the drop in 60. He was our guy. So in this day and age with so much movement, like Austin Reeves is our guy. So, I would love to do whatever we can to keep him. Mike, give us a score real quick because we got to let you go and get to break, man. We appreciate it. Happy birthday, Annie. What's the score over there on the field?
Yeah, we're 2-2. We had Tommy got thrown out at third, trying to take advantage of a pass ball. So we got first and second, 2 outs. We got number 11 out of 12 up. And then the Twins are coming up hopefully this inning if we start hitting the ball here.
Love for you to update us maybe with a text and let us know what the Twins do and if this game is a win, because we are all invested now. There's our captain, Mike Trudell. Thanks, Mike. Have a good time. Happy birthday, Annie.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks, brother.
This is light work for you, and I can't wait to hear more from Funchy and DeAndre as the show goes on as well.
And by the way,
have a good one.
You and I will be back in the seat together next week. That's Mike Trudell on ESPN LA 710. We're coming right back.
It's DeMarco Farr and Travis Rogers for your afternoon drive.
Yeah, baby. Oh, yes. Thank you, Les Snead.
Go. The floor is yours. I've been waiting all day.
Christmas came early. Oh, my goodness. Myles Garrett is on his way. Give that man a cape. Change LA to Wakanda. It's on now, baby. Let's go.
DeMarco and Travis have taken over Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 3 p.m. on 710 ESPN.
This summer's biggest football watch party experience is happening at Mercado Gonzalez in Costa Mesa. Catch every Mexico and USA match live, surrounded by non-stop game day energy, passionate fans, drink specials, surprise giveaways, and all the flavors that make every match unforgettable. Grab fire-grilled asada tacos, slow-braised quesadilla, fresh ceviches, warm churros, and more. Join us for every Mexico and USA match at Mercado Gonzalez in Costa Mesa. Mercado Gonzalez is your soccer fan paradise this summer, where every match tastes better. 3 cities, 1 concert, a world united through football and music. On June 10th, the FIFA Countdown Concert, in collaboration with the Grammys, comes to Crypto.com Arena as part of a first-of-its-kind live celebration connecting Canada, Mexico, and the United States ahead of the FIFA World Cup 26. The Los Angeles stage will feature Diplo's Major Lazer, Davido, and additional artists to be announced, alongside stellar lineups in Toronto and Mexico City for this synchronized live concert. Doors open at 5 p.m. Pacific time, with the live show beginning at 6 p.m. Pacific.
In a contracting business, you're either growing or you're grinding. Success is no longer about hard work alone. It's about using AI to accelerate impact. Service Titan is the only integrated intelligence that seamlessly automates your entire workflow, from first call to final invoice. Born in the trades, built for visionaries ready to stop operating and start automating. Service Titan, AI for the trades.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is Lakers Talk with Mike Trudell on your home of Lakers basketball. ESPN LA, 710 AM on the all-new ESPN LA app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
I think it was 55 Charger or something like that, said must have had it pretty good. I looked up the all-boy high school, Crespi High School, $25K a year. Let me tell you, I was living in Van Nuys. My mom worked at Crespi. It was $3,000 a year. I can't believe Crespi's $25,000 a year now.
That's
woohoo,
man.
Jeez,
$3,000 a year back in the day. But my mom worked there, so we got a little, haircut.
You gotta,
An Austin Reeves haircut, hopefully. Take a little off for the home team.
Jeez, that's
take a little off for the home
haircut.
team. But I love that. That made me laugh. That made me laugh. The chat room is incredible. I love it. Big part of the show. I got Mitch from New Jersey on the line.
How's it going today, Gita?
Hey, what's
Great
up, Mitch?
story.
How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. I hope that Crespi tuition today is a tax write-off. I hope.
Hey, man, listen,
What do I know?
my
can't
kids
do
go to
math.
Miracosta High School, Mitch. That's free. FREE, free. And now my daughter's going to USC. And fortunately, I won't be paying for it. Woo! Let's go. Thank God for volleyball.
Thank God. Fight on. We're getting in the playoffs this year. Would they sign AR? I know he wants as much money as possible. Can they trade him for Devin Booker? I might have to give him something else to Phoenix, or for Amen
Thompson,
the twins, Thompson with Steve Adams, and we can throw in with AO. We'll give him also DeAndre Ayton. He's kind of soft. I think Steve Adams is the strongest guy in the NBA. He's a beast.
Listen, I love Alman Thompson, and thank you, Mitch. I appreciate that. Thank you for listening in Jersey.
It's kind of soft.
He's and he does love Devin Booker. I think I was hosting a show with AK recently, and he might have called and mentioned Devin Booker.
Now, you want to talk about a guy that's making a lot of money.
He's making a lot of money.
Ooh, he's making like 50 almost, right?
I'll say this about Austin Reeves. Everyone knows I want Austin Reeves in a Laker uniform. I am intrigued at what that number is going to be, and I go to both sides of this. As a Laker fan, sure, you'd like it to be a little more team-friendly. Maybe it opens up a little more room. But for him, who's earned it, I hope he gets his paid as much as he wants. That would be awesome. But I will say this. Letting him walk for free, to me, is not what you want to do. You mentioned trade. I don't want to throw out names like Booker and Alman Thompson. By the way, Alman Thompson's not going anywhere. He's going to be the face of the Houston Rockets, so it's not going to happen anytime soon, just to be honest with Mitch, right? But when you look at a guy like Devin Booker and a guy like Austin Reeves, if you sign Austin Reeves, down the road, that contract, tradable, if he becomes an all-star type player like he's becoming right now, and I think he would have been an all-star had he not gotten hurt on Christmas. He was trending towards that way. Let me just give you some numbers on AR, just so we're all clear. Games without LeBron, 16 games, 28 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. Okay? Games without Luka and LeBron, so he has to be the number one. And remember, Minnesota was one of those games he hit a game winner. 39, 10, and 5. Smaller sample size, but they went 2-2 in those games. Now, during the playoffs, I think is where Laker fans want to see AR earn that money. Now, I thought last year was tough because remember when he was in the playoffs and they went to the Western Conference Finals, he was great against Golden State and Memphis. Okay? Last year, I'll say this. They did not have a good playoff as a team. Minnesota took it to him. He struggled. He was accountable. He talked about that. He came back this year, balled out against Minnesota. He did have the hurt foot last year in that playoff series. He just didn't talk about it. That's not an excuse. I don't want to give it to him either. He didn't want to use it, but there are things around that are true. This year I thought was tough, right? Like, he came back, and I really appreciated him coming back. Come back, and I want to win with this team. Now, in the Houston series, it was just 2 games. Comes out, gets 22 points, but he was inefficient. They lose. The next game, I liked what he did, and he showed us why I think he's a big-time player. Third quarter game is close, 8 straight points. That, to me, showed me what Austin Reeves can do for this team. Mind you, without Luka Doncic, right? Now, against OKC, bad game 1, man. But I got to tell you guys something. OKC makes a lot of guards when they're dialed in not look very good. Just go look at the history of it, right? But he had 31 in game 2. He was 3 for 6 from 3. He was 10 for 16 from the field. Game 3, 17 points, 9 assists, but he didn't shoot the ball well from 3. Game 4, Lakers were supposed to get blown out. He played his ass off, battled, 43 minutes, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. So I'm just saying there should be a lot of love out there. Now, is he going to get hunted defensively? Yes. And so is Luka. So what are you putting around them? And I will say this, the playoff defense was pretty darn good. The Lakers did a really nice job defensively throughout the year. I know where the metrics are, but I'm looking at March, and I'm looking after the All-Star break. The Lakers are better defensively. Are they ready to win a championship? No. I am not saying that, so don't get upset with me. But I'm just saying, before you're ready to not pay Austin Reeves, really do a deep dive on that and see if you're ready to see him in a different uniform. We got to take a break, because on the other side, Danny Green, 3-time champion, joining us on ESPN LA 710.
It's DeMarco Farr and Travis Rogers for your afternoon drive.
Holy blank.
Unbelievable.
Miles Garrett?
Yep. Blank them picks.
Yeah. Damn right. I don't even care what they sent out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the first thing was, wait, we got Miles Garrett. My first thought wasn't, well, what did we give up? It was, let's go.
DeMarco and Travis have taken over Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 3 p.m. on 710 ESPN.
Rams fans, D-Far here. The Rams are making history in 2026, heading to Melbourne, Australia to face the Niners. You can be there. I've teamed up with True Fan Travel to hook you up with the ultimate fan experience. Game tickets, hotels, exclusive events, even a chance to meet me all in one package. This isn't just a trip, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Spots are limited. Don't wait. Visit TrueFanTravel.com right now and secure your spot. That's TrueFanTravel.com. See you there.
If you run a small business, you know that opportunities and emergencies don't wait. So don't let big banks hold your business hostage with weeks of endless red tape and paperwork. Turn to Cardiff. Cardiff is America's favorite small business lender with a 5-minute application that won't impact your personal credit. You get approved in minutes and funded the same day for up to $500,000. If you've been operating for at least a year with $20,000 a month in revenue, skip the bank delays. Go to Cardiff/ESPNLA right now to secure your funding. That's cardiff.co/ESPNLA.
This is Lakers Talk with Mike Trudell on your home of Lakers basketball, ESPN LA, 710 AM on the all-new ESPN LA app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Los Angeles Lakers, one of 4 to ever win a title with 3 different teams. My friend and now co-worker, Danny Green calling from the East Coast. What's up, Danny?
What's up, Geeta? How you doing, man? How's everything?
I got to tell you, I'm doing good. The off season is going well. Oldest daughter graduating on Thursday. Then it's off to USC on Sunday.
Man.
Danny, I know you're nowhere near that, buddy. You are nowhere near that with your little ones. But how's summer been going for you?
Been going great, man. Just right now enjoying the finals, traveling some in Bristol, Connecticut right now. But, yeah, covering the finals and trying to move up to the big boy stage and be as good as you one day.
Oh, come on, man. You've already passed it. Now, Danny, you went to the first 2 games in San Antonio. Before we get to game 3, what was that like? What was the vibe? What were some of your takeaways as the Knicks kind of shock the world and go up 2-0?
Man, it was I said the series have been great, right? So the games have been up and down. The Spurs have come out. They've kind of used a lot of their gas early on and then kind of haven't been able to stay throughout the game. Like they're getting fatigued and showing some signs of conditioning and mental, the stamina isn't there yet. But the Knicks have just kept answering each call. They're playing great basketball. But a lot of these games are decided by, small margins of decisions. And, they finally kind of put it together in game 3. They stuck it out through the whole game, and it was able to kind of put 2 halves together. And, they actually finally closed and got one done. They scored some baskets. Wemby was intentional and aggressive with getting to the rim and being closer to the basket. Stephon Castle put pressure on the rim. So it was fun to see. And then, of course, they did a good job defensively. They took Mikal Bridges out of it a little bit. They took Cat out of it a little bit. So it was a great effort by them, and then making it a series, which we want to see, right? We want more basketball. We don't want to sweep. We don't want to see anything ending early. We want at least 6 or 7 games of this type of basketball.
Danny, I told our listeners, I've been on the Knicks. I wasn't ready to hand the keys just yet to a dynasty for the San Antonio Spurs. I felt the Knicks are in that perfect window to win now. They haven't had one in 53 years. But I got to tell you, Danny, in game 3, I was all Spurs because selfishly, I want this series to go as long as it can. How fun is this series, and how much are you enjoying watching it just as a basketball fan and a former player?
Man, I'm loving it, especially, because of the fact that I am from New York and also was a Spurs, so I'm getting kind of the best of both worlds to be able to visit both. But it's just great basketball, high value, intense, good competitive basketball, right? So kind of to the purest form. So I'm really enjoying the series, man. I'm seeing I love what I've seen out of OG, who's a former teammate, and then my former team, those young guys who are kind of ready to roll with Castle, Fox, of course, Wemby, and then Dylan Harper coming off the bench. I've seen him play since he was in high school. So they're fighting, man, and doing some really special things. Champagne is lighting up the playoffs. Vassell, they're on a pretty good run. So I would like to see that, again, as much basketball just like you as we can, and they can extend this thing to at least 6 or 7 games. Would be a lot of fun.
Now, you played for the Spurs. You won a title in 2014, lost in the finals in 2013. Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker. Have the Spurs recreated that with Wemby, Castle, and Harper? Are you kidding me? They've done it again?
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Different versions.
For sure.
But, yeah, you get a big 3 like that. Wemby, who's a, generational talent that you're not going to see once every 200 years or so. And then Castle, who's very athletic at the point guard position, explosive, still learning how to, set the table. But Harper, be able to come off the bench and be so crafty and so good at finishing around the rim. And then, of course, you got Fox kind of helping them learn along the way. And then you got the shooters, Champagne, Vassell, including 3 and D guys, and you have a bunch of guys off the bench that can give you some things. And, again, I think Carter Bryant's going to be a player as well. They have a really good foundation. And, again, they got the Big 3 2.0 right now, it looks like. And if they can keep that group together, they're going to be successful for some time to come.
Who did you have before it started, and do you still have the same team winning it? Did you have to pick the Spurs because you played there?
I didn't. To start the playoffs, I thought OKC would repeat. Mm-hmm. But when I watched the playoffs, I was not a believer in the Knicks, never in my life, since I've watched them grow up my whole entire life. They've disappointed my family friends, because my family wasn't big Knicks fans, but some of my family and some of my friends, my whole life, they've been disappointed. They've been let down by the Knicks, and they always kind of buy in. Everybody talks about these delusional fans like the Cowboys, and thinking that this is our year, and that's how the Knicks were. This year, I was kind of made believers by watching them play in that second round of the playoffs. In the third round, I knew they would kind of beat up on Cleveland, but they're just having a historic run. And once they beat Cleveland, swept them, I said Knicks in 4. And that's even before knowing who was going to come out the West, just because how good they were playing.
Wow.
And also because the West was going through a 7-game series. It's a hard, heavyweight battle. And I thought they'd be fatigued. And I still stand on that. I still believe the Knicks will win in 6. The Knicks will win in 6. And, and that's me saying it publicly because of how good I'm a Spurs biased fan and alum. So I'm really rooting for the Spurs. But I thought the Knicks would win this year because this seems like everything and the stars are aligning for them to win this year.
Danny, you mentioned where you grew up. You mentioned kind of your family, and you have a lot of friends in that area and the New York Knicks fans. What would a title mean to this city?
Man, I mean, the world. As I said, I haven't seen it in my lifetime, and I'm almost 40 years old. It's been 53 years, 27 years since they've been back to the finals. Again, the city is already on fire, and they haven't won yet. But a lot of these older sports fans from the city have not been able to experience one or see one. And some of them have spent a lot of money in mortgages paying, betting on the Knicks, losing gambling debts, and, all these type of things. I said, Fat Joe was on the show. He said he would cry. So that's what we're going to experience. Some people are going to be so happy to be crying with laughter. You're going to see a different type of joy in the atmosphere. Again, New Yorkers are not normally known to speak to each other and say hi and give hugs, but I think it's uniting everybody in the city, with the exception of them, trying to bully people that are fans from other places. But, it's just seeing New York kind of really come together and kind of be excited and support each other. It's a new thing I've never seen in my life in the 40 years I've been living almost. So it's going to mean a lot to the city. I think they're very much in dire need of it. They haven't had it in a very long time. And I'm always for, pushing or seeing and encouraging new champions and teams that actually need it. Like last year we got a new champion with Oklahoma, and it would have been Indiana. So either one of those teams would have been fun to see win their first one ever. And now this year is going to be a new champion for the first time in a long time for New York, or in a little while for Spurs too. So each year I'm all for that. And it keeps the game competitive. It keeps, sports unpredictable and more exciting when you can't predict, or it's not a bunch of back-to-back winners and dynasties and that sort of thing.
Danny, I want to take people inside our studio because I hope that a lot of people driving around LA or watching us wherever, they're able to watch the pre and post game show. And you joined us this year for the first time. And what I tell everyone, Danny, is that my favorite thing about Danny Green is he watches every minute of the game with me, and he does not stop talking about the game, breaking it down. I learned so much from DG. I appreciate that. How much fun are you having being on this side of it and watching the games and kind of learning the TV side?
Man, I'm enjoying it to the fullest, man. Not only am I speaking the game, but I'm learning a lot from you guys of how to talk it, how to, break it down to the viewer. And, again, just watch it. I don't get a chance to, when I'm with the kids, just openly watch it all day. So when I'm able to sit down and watch the games with you guys and break it down, it's always a lot of fun. And then, we all get to put our GM hats on, our coaching hats on, and see what we would do. Obviously, I'm not a coach or a GM, but, you guys value my opinion and say, oh, would you do that? Would you do that? And some things are like, yeah, I would. Some things, no. But, again, it doesn't mean I'm right or wrong, but it means that you respect my opinion, and it might be a different outcome. And you're like, oh, okay, I see why you would do that. But I'm really enjoying it, man. It's a lot of fun, and learning from everybody around me as well on different panels and how to break it down, and also how to be better at my craft with, speaking the game to the average viewer.
How many M&Ms does Big Game get into during the game?
Yeah, just almost as much as me. I'm trying to cut back on the M&Ms. They're very addictive when you're in that studio. But, yeah, Big Game, he's the M&M guy. And, I'm following suit as a fellow Carolina alum. And but at the same breath, trying to make sure that I don't get too crazy out of shape by watching these games and talking the game. So I got to continue to work out and not eat too many M&Ms and stay away from the snacks. But it's always a lot of fun and a lot of love to snack out and hang out and watch the game with you guys.
There's no doubt about it. You could still hit a few threes and play 20 minutes. But, Danny, you live in Los Angeles with your family, and I know you only played here for 1 year, but you won a title. Do you still feel a connection, or do you feel like you got robbed a little bit because it was in the bubble and you never got to celebrate with the fans?
A little bit of both. I do feel a connection. I'm able to still go to the games. They incorporate me, embrace me to do, sweet visits during the games here and there, and some activations and meeting fans and greeting them. But yes, we did not get a chance to parade, and I felt definitely robbed of that. I got a great opportunity to experience that in San Antonio, and an unbelievable, incredible parade in Toronto. both of them were a lot of fun, and they never got the one in LA. So a little bit robbed, but I definitely feel embraced and connected still, but not as connected because we didn't get a chance to celebrate that one the way we should have.
So, Danny, obviously you've been in a lot of playoff games. You've won 3 titles with 3 different teams, and you were always considered one of those glue guys, one of those role players. We saw it here firsthand in 2020. You thrived in that role. Big Shot Bob has been one of our guys. D. Fish, who works with us, guys who did it at the highest level. They did whatever it takes to win. When you're building a team, a championship contender, someone that's got a shot, how important is that to find winning type of players, and what should the Lakers be looking at?
It's very important, and I think that's kind of what San Antonio did. They found certain character quality guys first before the player. But you obviously want a great player as well. But if you can get both in the same breath, it makes it easier to get a team, a group to build in or lock in or buy in. So you got to find good character quality guys that like to win, that want to win, and that have a high IQ and look at things bigger than themselves.
Where do you come out on Austin Reeves? We've been talking a lot about him. The reports came out that they're going to hope for the max. That's what they're going to be looking for. You haven't heard Austin Reeves say that, but it's his agent's job, and it's his job to do what he can for his family and what he deserves. I know you're a big Austin Reeves guy. How do you want to see this go for Austin?
I mean, I am a big Austin Reeves guy. I think he's very special. And in today's market, he's definitely worthy of a max, right? So I know it's tough when you're trying to build a championship team. I think a lot of guys can learn from Jalen Brunson. And obviously, Jalen's made more than more contract before he got his big one. And I don't expect anybody to take a haircut, but and maybe in another place he could. I know the taxes in California are a little steep, so it's hard to take a cut in California. But I would love for him to stay a Laker and be with Luka. It'd be fun to keep watching them grow together. But I think every superstar, again, right now it's not Austin's time to do that. He needs to go get paid, go get his contract, and maybe later on down the line, maybe take a haircut and say, all right, I want to build this type of group or this type of team around me. But yeah, I would love to see him continue to grow and stay, because each year he gets better and better, and I can't wait to see what's in store for him next year coming up.
So I know you know the league so well. Let's say Austin does stay in LA and they like to roll with Luke and Austin. I'll get to LeBron in a moment. What are the priorities to put around guys like them?
Defensive guys, right? Defenses and shooters. So that's no real secret or science to it. If you want to have a great winning team, you need some superstars. You need a good quality big that can rebound, and some 3-and-D guys around them. So if you can get that at a good price, you have a good chance at being successful and winning some championships.
I know you get asked this all the time, Danny. What do you think LeBron does next season? One, do you think he's playing for sure? What do you think the best fit is? Do you see him here in LA?
I think he does play next year for sure. One more year, maybe if not 2, who knows? But I think he for sure comes back next year. And I hope it's in LA. I think it might be in LA, because I don't know what Cleveland has in store. It's either LA or Cleveland, but I think it'll be his last year in LA. And I think he'll go out the way he wants to go out, and they'll treat him that way. So hopefully we can see that.
You don't buy into the Warriors rumors out there? That they're kind of a player in this?
Say that again? I'm sorry.
The Warriors, do you see them as a player in this? That's kind of one of the rumors out there.
I don't. I just can't picture that. I can't picture him in a new uniform. It's either in the one he's in now or somewhere he was at prior to this. And I don't see Miami either, but no, I don't see Golden State taking any part in this.
Danny, you and I have spoke about this watching the games, but just for the fans out there, how good was that 2020 Lakers team? The bubble was at a time and place in the world where it were circumstances that no one could have foreseen, right? And I always give the NBA credit for having the bubble. I think, people want to laugh at the bubble or say, it doesn't count. But you still played 4 out of 7 series. You played Dame, you played Harden, you played Russ, you played Jokic, you played Murray, and then you played Jimmy, Bam, and the Miami Heat. It was an absolute battle in there for 90 days. But that team going in, I try to always tell everyone, was the best team in the league. How good was 2020?
Yeah, man, I'd like to say so, too. Regardless of the situation or scenario, I think we would have been the team to come out on top, because we were just such a defensive juggernaut. We had myself, KCP on the wings. Avery Bradley didn't even come to the bubble with us. We had Alex Caruso. We had, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis. And then we're not even mentioning LeBron James yet, Rajon Rondo, Kuz. We had a really good team of guys that can really, collectively do it together, and then defensively just be on the string. Offensively, we weren't the greatest, but we had a defensive juggernaut to where we can kind of limit and stop anybody that we faced. That team was really good. And when everybody asks me, like, who's the best team you were part of, or the most talented team, and I'm like, it's hard to argue against that one, especially if you match up any of those guys in their prime. It's probably one of the best teams assembled that I've been a part of.
That is wild.
Of all time, anyway.
I did not know that. You played in the league, 17 years?
15 technically, but yeah, probably one of the greatest teams of all time if you take all those guys in their prime.
Man, that's amazing. Danny, by the way, people might not know this, Funchy and DeAndre, but Danny hit 27 threes in the 2013 finals. They lost in 7 to LeBron. Do you ever think about you would have got finals MVP if we had just rebounded the ball?
Yeah, it's crossed my mind once or twice before. I mean, was a rebound or a free throw. I think it could have been a different outcome for me individually, but more so than anything, I could have had some more hardware and a ring, so that would have been great.
Do you still think about the ones that you didn't get? I mean, you got 3, but are there ones that still stick out? I mean, that's just the competitor that you are.
Just that one. Yeah. And then we had an opportunity with Kawhi before the ankle thing with Zaza in 2017, I think. But mainly that one because it was so close, right? You know, the woulda, coulda, shouldas, or if this and that, like before the finals round, I don't know if you can really stretch it that far for me because, you know, if Kawhi was healthy, maybe we could have, but I don't like to go that far. But we were in the finals and we were 1-2 possessions away from getting it done. And it's hard to sometimes watch over and over the highlights. You know, people watch that Ray Allen shot. I can't watch it. You know, I still have PTSD from it.
Yeah,
that. I really don't try to too much about it. So, yeah.
All right, last thing, Danny, we got to let you go, man. I appreciate your time. More than generous. I know you're on the East Coast. Give me your Game 4 prediction and just kind of what you'll be looking for in this game.
I want to see. I think the Knicks will get this one. I think they'll make adjustments. What I want to see a hard-fought battle to the end. I want to see it go down to the wire like it has been. And, I also want to see more basketball, so I hope the Spurs can stretch and win at home in Game 5. But I think Game 4, the Knicks will get more settled in. They're at home. They're acclimated. And I think they'll win this one probably about 3 or 4 points. That's what I want to see anyway.
Danny, don't be a stranger this summer, my brother.
I'll be around, man. You know where to find me.
All right, Danny, thanks so much for joining us, man. We needed you today, man. We don't have our captain, Mike Trudell. We needed you to come in, and you came in and delivered like you always do. Thank you, Danny. Danny Green, and he said that Lakers team in 2020 is the most talented team he has ever been on, and he would put it up against anyone. You're listening to ESPN LA 710. We'll be back on the other side.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station. ESPN LA may sound one way on AM.
But you know where it sounds best?
You guessed it, crystal clear digital audio.
Crystal clear digital audio on the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA wherever you get your apps.
And you can always watch LA's mega sports station live or on demand on our YouTube channel at ESPN Los Angeles.
Welcome to Milagro Tequila, where the sun shines, good times roll, and tequila pours. Take a sip of sunshine this summer with Milagro Tequila, crafted from 100% Blue Weber agave for bright flavor and exceptional smoothness. Shake up fresh margaritas with Milagro Silver. Mix the perfect paloma with Milagro Reposado, or enjoy the rich, smooth taste of Milagro Añejo on the rocks. Find Milagro at your favorite retailer, in-store, and online. Tequila never tasted brighter. Milagro Tequila. Please enjoy responsibly.
It's time for your Valvoline Instant Oil Change Summer of Soccer update. Here's Mario Ruiz.
As Thursday's FIFA World Cup opener between Mexico and South Africa inches closer and closer, some of the biggest stars in the world of football are ready to shine on the biggest stage. All eyes are going to be on Argentina's captain Lionel Messi as he looks to make one more magical World Cup run. France brings in a loaded roster led by Kylian Mbappe, while Spain's teenage sensation Lamine Yamal enters the tournament as one of the most exciting young talents in the world of football. Closer to home, the U.S. men's national team is going to lean on Christian Pulisic to lead its attack, while Portugal's legendary icon Cristiano Ronaldo hopes to lift the World Cup trophy for the very first time.
And that's your Valvoline Instant Oil Change Summer of Soccer update. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. From kickoff to the final whistle, performance matters. Keep your vehicle running strong. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for a special offer and locations near you.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code TRY to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code TRY to borrow up to $10,000. Use code TRY to borrow up to $10,000.
This is Lakers Talk with Mike Trudell on your home of Lakers basketball, ESPN LA, 710 AM, on the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Yeah, we got some NBA Finals calls, I believe, out there. By the way, you're listening to Lakers Talk, ESPN LA 710. I'm Geeter. We got Mike Trudell out at the baseball field right now. Has he updated us on the Twins yet? Mike, I know you're listening. Let the fellas know, because I don't have my phone with me at the moment. But I would like to know. I mean, it was 2-2, DeAndre, last we heard. You know, and Jet Talon killing it. Yeah. And he's
the
got
one
his
thing I want to know is where is he taking the kids at after the game?
Do you think they're going with him, or is it just Annie romantic dinner? Or is it a group of people for the birthday?
It has to be a group of people.
Yeah,
I imagine since he's doing a game and then he,
You know what I remember about my youth guys? Little League, Reseda Park.
Yeah.
Baseball games. And my whole crew, like of friends and the parents, we would go out to dinner after games. If you had a weekday game to go out to dinner, it was a big deal if the parents said yes. And you'd all go. And I thought back and I'm like, my parents were having the greatest time ever. They were younger than I am now. They were raging.
Yeah.
And we would just hope that they were like stay forever and we could just all play outside together and mess around. And that's what they were doing. They totally hoisting cocktails and having a great
It's funny. When I was playing Little League, we would always go to Shakey's.
Oh, yeah. Shakey's was a big one. Round Table was a big one from us. And Bob's Big Boy, if any of you guys know Bob's Big Boy.
Oh, man, I love that
right there in the Valley, the 818. By the way, let's get to some calls, right? Who do you want to go with first, Funchi?
Let's go with Solomon Lake Balboa.
Lake Balboa, which is kind of my own hood. We heard about this the last time I was on the show because I'm from Van Nuys, and now Lake Balboa has popped up kind of pretty close to that. What's going on, Solomon?
Hey, I'm good, man. Still doing good in Lake Balboa.
Living the dream.
Anyway, oh, my God, it's beautiful out here. So here's my story, my take on the NBA Finals and going forward. If San Antonio can pull out Game 4, which they have to, because if they don't and they go down 3-1, they're not beating the Knicks 3 straight. I think the series is virtually over. But assuming they somehow pull it out, they even the series, going forward, San Antonio, to me, has the physical talent to win the series. Now, can they manage the series? That's the neck up. That's another story because of the youth and their experience. What do you guys think going forward? Both teams at their best, 3-game series, who takes it and why?
Solomon, I love that call. Thanks for calling, man. And I actually agree with you a lot on that. The Spurs definitely have the physicality and the athleticism to win this series. But that youth has showed to me too often, and I know it's only 3 games, but it reared its head in Game 3 as well, DeAndre. They had 2 chances to put away the Knicks in that fourth quarter. They let the Knicks catch up. Then they were up 108-100. 4 straight possessions, empty possessions, terrible shots, ISO ball. It was Stephon Castle, who I want to talk about in a minute, who won that game for them, hitting that big 3. But the flip side of that is, did that do something for them? They've now tasted a win in the NBA Finals. Are they looser? Are they more relaxed? Are they more confident? I don't know, but in a 2 out of 3 kind of format like you're talking about, I'm going with the New York Knicks. I just think that they're playing better basketball and they're dialed in just a little bit more. Doesn't mean they're going to win the series. That's just who I'm going with, Solomon. Good call. Who else you want to go to, Funchy?
Let's go to Thomas from Chicago.
Go ahead, Thomas. How you doing, man? Chicago ILL.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thanks for taking my call. I kind of just want to answer that last person. I think there's something about playing on the road. I feel like playing at home, I think you saw it with the Knicks and you kind of saw it with the Spurs where it's like you feel, and Wemby talked about it, when you're at home, it's 6 versus 5. When you're on the road, it's 5 versus 6. Meaning when you're on at home, you kind of feel like anxious. You need to put on a show. You need to do more. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you guys saw this. What was the problem in games 1 and 2 versus game 3? The turnovers.
Yeah.
Castle did not. There was 0 of these across court, half court, trying to overthrow these big bodies of the Knicks. You saw, and he said it after the game, like we wanted to get Wemby on the block. If we get going, then everyone else. It's almost like if we force him the ball early, then it slowly declines, so that his health and his body can just slowly. It's not like a big drop off, which is game 1 and 2. They try to force him late. I just think the Spurs. I think the pressure's on the Knicks because if this thing goes, if it's tied 2-2, I just think the Spurs have the momentum. And I don't know about you, but like, I just think game 4 the Spurs wins because I feel like, and I'm sorry to take up time, but I'll try to finish.
That's okay.
I just feel like the Knicks have so much to prove or to adjust versus the Spurs just have to. I mean, literally, like. Mikal Bridges once he catches the ball, you could tell he's just jittery and just wants to get the ball out. And just the Spurs, if they just let Brunson, and this is what everyone kept talking about, if you let Brunson just dribble and dribble and dribble, and then have to make a 5-second left on the shot clock, I just feel like the Spurs just have momentum going in, where it's like, hey, let's just keep playing. Versus the Knicks, it's like I just feel like the Knicks have so much to overcome. Add to anything or agree, disagree, I'd like to know your opinion on that.
Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate the call, brother. And it's a great point about just the 8 turnovers by the San Antonio Spurs in game 3. I thought that was a huge difference in this game because Thomas is right. They were very rattled in those first 2 games, especially with the errors late when the game was tied, missing shots, making bad plays. Obviously, the Wemby turnover in game 2 was huge and talked about. But listen, I agree with the road thing a little bit because sometimes, and I think back to my college days, some of the best wins I ever had with my guys were on the road. Winning at BYU for us was always huge. They had a packed house in men's volleyball, 6,000 people, and we loved winning there. I loved just you and your boys out there battling. I loved talking smack to the opposing fans. I loved getting heckled on the sideline. It was just what I think we all lived for. Kobe Bryant used to say, there's no better sound in sports than a quiet home crowd when you've beaten them. So there is something to be said about the anxiousness, about being at home. But at the end of the day, man, in the NBA Finals, you want to be in front of that crowd. You never know if it's going to sway the refs, even though it didn't last night, but in a late game situation. And New York wants it so bad. I think they bounce back, DeAndre, in game 4. What do you think?
Look, man, I think it's going to be San Antonio taking game 4 tomorrow. I just want to throw out this stat for you real quick. This is in regards to Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
He is shooting 30 of 81 from the field, 37%, 31% from three-point, 5 of 16 shooting. So he has not really have gotten into rhythm, and that's due to the San Antonio Spurs guards and Dylan Harper. You throw out the mix of Stephon Castle being on him as well. I do feel like your point as far as the Spurs lacking, as far as that veteran leadership that, with the rookies being in there trying to step up, it showed in those crunch time moments. Victor Wembanyama turned that ball over in game number 2. When the miscommunication between him and Stephon Castle. In game number 1, the Spurs have been having double-digit leads throughout these first 3 games of the NBA Finals, and they just found some way to. The offense started getting a little stagnant. The ball movement was not there no longer. But I feel like the Spurs are starting to hit their ceiling. Stephon Castle in that big shot, I think that's where the momentum shifts.
I want to jump on something you said because I think I haven't talked about it enough. And I know I did in the OKC series when the Spurs won that series. You have to credit the job they're doing defensively on guards. You saw it, by the way, Denny Avdia, the job they did on Ant, the job they did in that OKC series. I thought that was the difference. I think Stephon Castle, guys, is that dude. I know it's about Wemby, and it should be. He's the man for the next, I don't know how many years. But Stephon Castle reminds me of Kobe in one way. Not the games yet, but when he's young, being that Batman, being that Robin to the Batman type of guy. Like everyone knew it was Shaq's team, but Kobe was that killer. And Stephon Castle showed me last night he is that killer. And it's just the way he carries himself. He's not about showing you, yeah, I'm the guy. He's about doing it. And that's the kind of guy. And I blame Houston for that, DeAndre. Reed Shepherd? You picked Reed Shepherd over Stephon Castle. If this dynasty is built, I'm flying to Houston. I'm waiting at the door, and I want an answer from the front office. Because if I'm getting ready for draft, and I got these two guys walking the gym, and I got Reed Shepherd and Stephon Castle, and I like Reed Shepherd. He's a good shooter. He's a good basketball player. He's not Stephon Castle.
Especially when Stephon Castle does
what
on
are you
one end
doing,
of the floor,
DeAndre? Bunch, I'm pissed.
Look, man, Stephon Castle also does something well on the other end. He defends.
Oh, man, does he defend. I thought he was just fantastic. And the way he hit, he's 23-5 last night, but that shot that he got when they were in an absolute panic at 108, 104, and Wemby throws it to him with the shot clock winding down. He hits a 25-footer. And by the way, De'Aaron Fox gets the ball with 9 seconds left. They're only up 2. He got rid of that thing so fast. It was a hot cake. He threw it, and Castle just said, I'll get it. Foul me. Let me hit 2 in the face of the Garden crowd.
In that moment, shouldn't De'Aaron Fox be taking the free throw? Do you think in that moment De'Aaron Fox should be taking the free
Maybe they wanted to get it to Castle because he's over 80%. I'm curious about that. But any kind of lead guard says, go ahead and foul me. I'm hitting these. But, or he was trying to get rid of the ball and not get fouled to waste more time. So to his credit, but Castle's like, nah, hold on to that thing.
And he knocked it down.
Go ahead and foul me. Funchy, we got to get a break.
Got to get Wikey on next.
Dan Wojcicki from The Athletic to join us next. You're listening to ESPN LA 710.
Oh, here we go. Mason and Ireland are inviting you to kick off the World Cup at Commerce Casino for a Mexico versus South Africa watch party. Going to be a party, oh party. Join the ESPN LA crew on June 11th, starting at 12 p.m. as Mason and Ireland broadcast live during an afternoon of soccer, excitement, and giveaways celebrating the world's biggest stage. Come be part of the action, hang with ESPN LA, Mason and Ireland, and cheer on your favorite team at Commerce Casino on June 11th. All thanks to Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra, the official beer sponsor of the World Cup.
3 cities, 1 concert, a world united through football and music. On June 10th, the FIFA Countdown Concert, in collaboration with the Grammys, comes to Crypto.com Arena as part of a first-of-its-kind live celebration connecting Canada, Mexico, and the United States ahead of the FIFA World Cup 26. The Los Angeles stage will feature Diplo's Major Lazer, Davido, and additional artists to be announced, alongside stellar lineups in Toronto and Mexico City for this synchronized live concert. Doors open at 5 p.m. Pacific time, with the live show beginning at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
This is Lakers Talk with Mike Trudell on your home of Lakers basketball, ESPN LA, 710 AM, on the all-new ESPN LA app, and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
We back. There we are. Hello, hello, hello. I feel good. I got to say something, though, before I go to my guy. I grabbed my phone. I looked at the chat room. Christian, I think it said Aragon, 55-something or something other. I did not say that Stephon Castle and Wemby are the next Shaq and Kobe. That is blasphemous. I will quit this job right now. I apologize to everyone if that's how it came out. I said he reminds me of Kobe, like a Kobe comp, meaning what Kobe was at a really young age in these big moments on the final stage when it was Shaq's team and it is Wemby's team. Stephon Castle is the killer. That's what I meant.
Hey, before we go to Waikiki, we got an update from Trudell.
Okay, get to me.
Hermosa is up 5-2 on West Torrance. Jet got bean in the ass. Wore it like a champ. 2 scoreless innings pitching for Talon.
Wow. That's an update, Miguelito. That is an update. I dig that. Now, I'm going to go as long as I can until Funchy cuts me off and we go to break, because this next guy can talk, and he talks smart, and he's funny, and I've done TV with him before. We met actually doing the Jim Rome show over 10 years ago in Costa Mesa. We would go down and we'd be guests for a week on his TV show, and now he comes on the show at Spectrum from The Athletic. He's a Bears fan. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Wojcicki of The Athletic.
God, what a sweet gig that Rome show was, wasn't it?
Oh, man, money on the side, in and out in 45 minutes. Talked to Rome for like 15 after the show. You and I were in heaven.
Yeah, the Chipotle in Costa Mesa, like, because I would go there every day.
Yep.
While I was doing the show, and like they knew me there. I was a regular.
Wasn't that great when they know your order?
Good times. Yeah,
So,
good times.
Danny, how long you been covering the Lakers?
I mean, day to day, it's been every year since 21. Like as like the league itself, like basically the entire LeBron era. I mean, I've had the league. This is my 16th season, I think.
Yeah, you had to go to the Clippers for a little bit. Remember that?
But I do remember that.
Yeah,
some good times over there.
Yeah, we stopped talking for a while.
But yeah, like, so it's been this entire LeBron run. It's been basically all around the NBA and around the Lakers. And let me tell you, man, I've seen some stuff.
You have seen some stuff, and you might see some stuff this summer. I do want to jump right into it. We've talked a lot about the NBA Finals, but listen, I got you on. I don't want to waste any time, and I want to get into it for Lakers talk. Real quick, when you reflect back kind of on this season, Dan, the Lakers, when you look at it as a whole, you're talking a top 6, 7 team record-wise. Get to the semis without Luka in the loaded West. You had that incredible March where you go 15-2. You lost to the champs with no Luka. How do you Laker fans, you can't be satisfied, but you could be happy with the season and proud. How do you look at this Laker season covering it?
I was going to say, I think this is where like the success of the fan base in the past is like, issue is maybe not the right word, but probably like zaps some of the joy out of the season, because like really, like, look at the era we're in right now in the NBA. And this is the reality of it, is like windows are opening and shutting at a crazy pace. Like, we are in the parity era of the NBA, right? Yeah. Like, go back-to-back champions, conference finalists are swapping in and out. I remember when Denver won the title, like talking to people around the league and being like, oh my gosh, like, who is going to beat these guys? Like, they haven't been back to the finals.
Such a great point.
Like the Thunder, who is going to beat these guys? And it took a year for the Spurs to arrive.
Dan, Boston,
and
right?
now the Spurs
we thought Boston maybe with Tatum, and then he goes down last year, and then this year they're out first round, up 3-1. You're right.
Yeah, like, so things are like changing fast, right? And so I do think, like, if you are the kind of fan who can only find joy from 16 wins in the spring, it's just gonna be hard sledding. Like, that's just the reality of it. Like, that the dynasty eras in which the Lakers have had success, and it has been a dynastic success, generally speaking, right? Like, of the championships, basically two have come. One really, like, has come like at a time when it wasn't like they were in the finals every year, right? Or were in the fight every year. That's just kind of how it is in the NBA right now. And if that sounds like I'm giving the Lakers a lifeline because, or I'm saying, like, let's have realistic expectations about this, like, you're not going to be able, I don't think, to build the type of team that goes to 5 finals in 7 years.
Dan,
I just don't think that exists.
Dan, the chat room had a message for you. F Boston, and I agree. So, Danny, this is a huge off season, right? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, massive. So I was going to say, Geeks. So, like, I think I think this was an incredibly successful year. I think this was viewed at the start of the season, while no one wanted to say gap year, because that just devalues like the time and effort that everybody put into the season. But I think the way that Rob Pelinka and the front office operated the last offseason was one in which they kept an eye to the future, they kept an eye to flexibility, and they operated in ways that even if they didn't get the guys they wanted, they kept like sort of the future books as clean as they could. And with all of that said, when 50+ games exceeded their, win over under totals in Vegas for the second straight year, won a playoff series, and to me the most important thing, played like super fun basketball. Like when you go to work, Keats, and you felt this when you go to the arena, man. Like it was most of the time it was really fun.
I will say this, and I said it on the Lake Show podcast at work during this time. I've been at that job for 14 years. That March was probably the most fun I've had outside of winning a championship in 2020. But it was just so fun on a lot of levels. And I went to the Knicks game with my daughter just as a fan, and the way they handled them that game was so much fun. And I just felt that vibe going on in Crypto.com Arena.
Win.
Yeah, the Denver win was all-time win, man.
Was like a great moment. The win in Miami.
Yep. After
the wins in Houston. Like, and so, I mean, look, like we're talking about these regular season games, here in June. Like, so yeah, you can say like, I mean, success isn't that binary. And I know that's hard to understand for Laker fans because like, success has been very like, did we win a title or not?
For sure.
But yeah, like this was a very good season.
So Dan, listen, it's a huge off season for the Lakers and this front office. We know we've kind of, 2026, you're building around Luka. That's the priority. How do you catch the Spurs and OKC in the West? That's a priority. And don't forget about Minnesota and Houston and Denver. And Dan, I guess it starts with LeBron and AR and answering those questions first before we get into the rest. I'll start with LeBron. I know you're talking about it a lot. Everyone is. No one knows what LeBron is thinking. What do you feel happens here in the next few weeks?
It's a really good question. I am generally path of least resistance on this stuff. I think if I know anything about the people in my life in their 40s, like they don't like to move. They don't like change, generally speaking. I think LeBron James has had multiple opportunities to leave the Lakers at times when things were worse off than they are right now. And he has chosen always to stay. Now, this does feel different. And I think like you said, like, let's start with LeBron. I mean, to me, like there is one person hanging over this offseason, and it's not LeBron James, and it's not Austin Reeves, it's not Rui Hachimura, it's not Mark Walter, it's Luka Doncic, right? Like, and I think you mentioned those other teams, right? Like, I was talking to somebody, associated with like a stakeholder. I'll be very vague, but like, a person who has a voice in the organization. And, like this person was talking about how, you look at the Thunder and you look at the Spurs and you look at the type of young talent and the athleticism they have and the toughness and the physicality. And it's like that is what we should be trying to get as a team. Right. And the reality is you can't have it. You can try, the Spurs picked in the top 3 times in a row.
You're not even allowed to do that anymore.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And left it with Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper. You know what I mean? The Thunder, have all the draft picks in the world. They're young. Some of their cost control problems are coming home to roost, but like in a lot of ways are like built out of losing. The Knicks are a little bit of a bit of an outlier, but even them, like part of this was like came from a little bit of a teardown and a sort of on the fly rebuild where, they put draft capital into play for a lot of different players and, made really, really smart trades. So, maybe you could replicate that somehow, but I think you're not trying to be the Knicks. You're not trying to build a team that can compete with the Knicks. You're not trying to build a team that can compete with the Spurs. Like that can match them sort of like they've got Steph Castle. Where's our Steph Castle?
Yeah.
It's not going to work that way, and fans need to get over that. It's not going to happen.
Where
what
would
the Lakers can do.
Yep.
I was going to say, there's one thing that they can do that none of those other teams can do, though.
What's that?
They can build the best possible Luka Doncic team.
Yep.
And so what they have to do, and that should be the only priority, Geets, is when you ask yourself any of these questions is, does this get me closer to building the best possible Luka Doncic team?
Okay, then that leads
me
me
I think
to...
that is an important part. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there. Sorry to cut you off there because you're making a great point. That leads me to Austin Reeves. And you and Austin, great chemistry. Love seeing you guys in the locker room together. Reports are he's seeking the max. I was saying earlier on the show that's what they should be seeking as an agent and a player. That's part of the deal. And there are mixed emotions in Lakerland. Everyone loves Austin Reeves, but they want it to be a little more team friendly. Where are you with Austin on all this?
I mean, I think it's important to recognize two things: that he is a critical part of the Luka Doncic puzzle, that the best two Luka Doncic teams had players, and I'm not going to say Austin is this type of, like, is as good as these guys. That's not the point. But it's like the player style, right? The two best Luka teams had Jalen Brunson and had Kyrie Irving, right? Like Kyrie, high-paid player, secondary playmaker. I'm sorry. Jalen Brunson was on that rookie contract, couldn't get a deal done. But Luka wanted to play with Jalen Brunson still too, right? So that has been an important part of the recipe. It is not the sole part of the recipe. And I do think a question the Lakers will ask themselves, and I think a question that all sorts of people around the organization ask themselves is, if it costs, the full 5-year max to keep him, does that allow us to do the other stuff we need to do? If your answer is no, it doesn't. There's another second question which is like, okay, well then, like, can we really let this guy walk?
Yeah.
And I think if you want to talk about part of the reason why you seek the max in these situations and stuff like that, I got a piece coming this week in the Athletic about some of this stuff. But like, I think if you want to talk about that stuff, like, part of the reason is like the timing of it. And this is incredible timing to come to market, because there aren't a lot of good free agents. There aren't a lot of ways to improve your team through free agency. And by the way, you just so happen to have been, as an organization, and if you're Austin Reeves' reps, been gifted a complimentary player that you have proven you can win next to. So good time to be them, but there's competition. And I think, this idea that, like, you love the Lakers, so you should take $8 million less per year is like, that's not a real kind of love. You don't ask guys at Austin Reeves' stage of his career to do that. You just don't.
Dan, unfortunately, got one more question for you because I have so many things, but I'm just going to keep it here.
I'll be fast.
Yeah, Peyton Watson I love, right? Walker Kessler, all these unrestricted. That's a very risky game to play. Then you look at the free agent class, and a lot of them are actually Lakers, like a Rui and a LeBron. You got some other names on there, the Robert Williams of the world and Mitchell Robinson. Where do you, Dan Wojcicki, if you can answer this, Dan, you can give me a name, whatever. Like, when you're looking at free agency, what are you prioritizing?
I mean, I think the Lakers are going to prioritize center. I don't know that it comes through free agency.
Maybe a trade.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when I talk to people, one of the options that comes up most is trades into space. And, that's a thing where I think that maybe there are some financial pressure points out there where you've got teams that have players that they like, but, they've got, like, club options. Like, I would monitor the Thunder. The Thunder potentially could be putting 4 rotation players, some combination of 4 rotation players or rotation caliber players into, like, the market. When you talk about Aaron Wiggins, you're talking about Isaiah Joe, Isaiah Hartenstein, Lou Dort. Like, these are guys that could, like, end up switching teams, some of them, right? But it's going to probably be via trade. I don't think those guys, like, actually get to, like, free agency market. So you might have to use draft capital. But I think it's a center, and look, the recipe again is there. If the Lakers follow the success and I don't know that they will, but if they follow the Luka Doncic model, like, you need secondary playmaking, you need shooting and athleticism on the wings, and you need a rim protector.
Dan
And
Wojcicki.
So
sorry, Dan, go on.
Got to find
Keep going.
one. Got to find at least one of those, Gates.
Dan Wojcicki, the educator. Danny, I could talk to you for 2 more hours. I love the knowledge, man. Thanks so much for taking time away from the family and those boys and spending some time with us here.
Hey, it was, I got to tell you, it was 20 minutes of quiet that was well appreciated. That first week after school, Gator. You'll remember, the first week of summer break's a little rough.
Did you tell everyone, shut
A
up,
little
Dad's
bit of
got to
an
work?
adjustment. Yeah, a little bit of an adjustment for everybody.
Oh, you're the best, Dan. Hey, appreciate you, man. Thanks for dropping that knowledge
All right,
with
be
us.
good, man.
All right, that's Dan Wojcicki from The Athletic, ESPN LA, 710. We're coming back.
Oh, here we go. Mason and Ireland are inviting you to kick off the World Cup at Commerce Casino for a Mexico versus South Africa watch party. Going to be a party, oh party. Join the ESPN LA crew on June 11th, starting at 12 p.m. as Mason and Ireland broadcast live during an afternoon of soccer, excitement, and giveaways celebrating the world's biggest stage. Come be part of the action, hang with ESPN LA, Mason and Ireland, and cheer on your favorite team at Commerce Casino on June 11th. All thanks to Michelob Ultra. Michelob Ultra, the official beer sponsor of the World Cup.
This summer's biggest football watch party experience is happening at Mercado Gonzalez in Costa Mesa. Catch every Mexico and USA match live, surrounded by non-stop game day energy, passionate fans, drink specials, surprise giveaways, and all the flavors that make every match unforgettable. Grab fire-grilled asada tacos, slow-braised quesadilla, fresh ceviches, warm churros, and more. Join us for every Mexico and USA match at Mercado Gonzalez in Costa Mesa. Mercado Gonzalez is your soccer fan paradise this summer, where every match tastes better.
It's DeMarco Farr and Travis Rogers for your afternoon drive.
I had 50K of stuff I could not wear in my closet. Because they were tailored for 280. And I was not 280.
Do you still have them?
Yes, I'm not giving up on them.
I know.
I don't care how out of style they are.
I might have come around the block again. They might be
I'm
back
waiting.
in style
but
again.
I got some Steve Harvey 6, 7, 8 button stuff. That ain't coming back.
really
DeMarco and Travis have taken over Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 3 p.m. on 710 ESPN.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong?
I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000. Use code MOVE to borrow up to $10,000.
This is Lakers Talk with Mike Trudell on your home of Lakers basketball, ESPN LA, 710 AM on the all-new ESPN LA app and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
Hold on now. DeAndre, you know you used to see me back at the club doing this, right? Come on now.
I can see it.
Come on now. 90s Peter. We got a phone call. By the way, I think I see Temecula and I see Jonathan. I'm thinking it's Big Baby Jonathan, big-time Laker fan calling. Is that you, Big Baby?
Yeah, what's going on, Chris McGee? How you doing?
What's up, brother?
Not much, man. Got a quick question. If the Lakers do decide to move on from LeBron, what players would they target?
Big Baby coming in strong with a good question. Thanks, Big Baby. You know, I feel like Dan Wojcicki kind of just hit it on the head, and I think he was really smart to talk about it because I think people throw out big names and all these unrealistic trades very often. But if you're building around Luka Doncic, and that is clear that that's what they want to do, then you need to target the type of players that fit with him. I think that's why you hear the name Peyton Watson a lot. Like, you are looking at 3-and-D wings. You're looking at athletic. You're looking at length. The problem with Peyton Watson, and I know I've said it on this show, is that he's a restricted free agent. So if you throw some crazy number at him, you got to wait that 48 hours as Denver just sits there and lets you wait while other guys are passing you by, and then they match it and you don't have a choice. So it's really tough. But those types of players are the type of guys that they will target. And that's why you hear Robert Williams. You hear Mitchell Robinson. You think of lob catchers, defenders, guys that protect the rim, good rebounders. I mean, all of that stuff, guys that are good in the pick and roll. Those are the type of guys that I think they will target, Big Baby.
You mean we're not going to get Anthony Edwards and like
no.
Kyrie Irving?
And you know what? I hate to break up.
Giannis.
Amen Thompson's not coming.
For Devin Booker?
You know what I mean? It's not happening.
It's not happening.
But
no Cade Cunningham.
But you know what? It's funny because as a Laker fan for my entire life, like the amount of unrealistic things you hear. But the reason why we come up with that is because at one time someone said Luka Doncic and we laughed at them. Anthony Davis, LeBron James in a Laker uniform, because it has just happened so many times for us.
I mean, you were around in L.A. when the Shaq thing happened.
Yeah.
I mean, like, no one knew that Shaq was coming. I mean,
Yeah.
there was rumors, but they weren't like rumors like they were on social media like now.
Yeah, and Leonard Armato was his agent, an L.A. guy, and actually my former boss later in life after he was Shaq's agent with the AVP Tour Beach Volleyball. And I remember that time and Leonard being instrumental and Jerry West, and it was a tough decision for Shaq, but at the end of the day, he knew he had to be here. That one shook the world. And I just remember thinking, guys, and I didn't know how good Kobe was going to be at this point. Remember, he's a rookie.
Shaq had to come out here and do that movie, Genie.
But yeah, he had to come out here and do that and win Academy Awards. But Shaq basically, remember, we had not been in the finals since, when was that, 91 when they lost to the Blazers. And then, you know, Magic had to retire, kind of a rebuild, and now you're starting to get going again, and Nick the Quick and Eddie Jones. But when Shaq came over, it just put us right back in the spotlight, like we are going to win. I don't know if it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now, but Shaq will deliver a title, and he delivered 3 in a row, and of course he and Kobe becoming the greatest 1-2 punch in history. So just in my lifetime, even getting Michael Thompson later in his career and MT coming over, like they just always have been able to land these kind of big fish. Ohtani with the Dodgers. It's just always happened here in LA. We've been very lucky. We've been very blessed. The rules do make it tough, though.
If you talk to MT, the back-to-back titles wouldn't have happened if he wasn't here.
MT will tell you that. And you know what? MT was a bad man.
Was,
we did need those buckets off the bench.
I see those highlights.
We did need those buckets off the bench. He was great. He was great. So, guys, didn't you say it was the anniversary? Travis had said this.
Yes.
Today.
We have 2 anniversaries today. 2 big Laker anniversary today. This day in 1985, the Lakers win Game 6 to beat Boston for the first time in the NBA Finals. Lakers win the series 4-2.
1987.
Yeah.
39 years ago. Mike Trudell and I brought this up.
And then 1987 with the Magic Baby Hook.
Yes, last week, because that is a top 10 moment, I believe, in Laker history.
Yeah.
If I recall Mike's Toyota list. And for me, that moment in 87, and I think everyone has to remember, the Lakers lose in 84 with a chance to go up 2-0 on the road and bring it home and beat Boston for the first time. They lose. 85, we win. And that's the anniversary as well, by the way. Game 6 in Boston, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, MVP, and that's the first time the Lakers beat the Celtics.
I can't believe that was the first time.
It's the first time. And you're talking a lot of heartache. And I was having fun with Travis and DeMarco say that's the first time I saw a tear in my dad's eye, but that is true. Like, my dad wanted that win badly. His whole life they had lost to the Celtics. So I grew up thinking you lose to the Celtics. Now, we didn't play them in 80 and 82, right? And then in 86.
Philly, you played Philly, right?
Yeah, I played Philly in 80, 82, lost to Philly in 83, lost in 81 to Houston, and then in 84, lose to Boston. 85, beat Boston. 86 is the backward shot by Ralph Sampson.
Yes.
So we lose in 86.
That anomaly, geez.
Now I'm crying. Here comes 87. And in my opinion, the 1987 Los Angeles Lakers, I will put them up against anyone in time.
96 Bulls.
I'd put them up against the Bulls.
2016
Warriors. The 2001 Lakers.
Even
Do not
the Heatles?
forget to me, the greatest playoff run in history.
What about the 72 Lakers that won like 30
the
in a row?
72 Lakers, that's, of course, we're putting a lot of Lakers teams in. Now, the 86 Celtics, if you're just trying to be unbiased, it pains me to say it, you got to put them in the top 8 teams. If we're having a bracket, the Lakers have, 4 of the teams? We'll give Boston one, of course. You got to give the Warriors one. You got to give the Bulls one. But that 87 team, you guys, it was such a magical season. You knew you were the best team, and here you go into that finals against Boston. They're beat up. They've been to the finals all these years in a row, just like the Lakers. And you know what? All I gave a crap about was Magic won, Larry won. That's what I cared about, even though Magic had more rings at the time, and he ended up with more rings, 5-3. I needed Magic to win the head-to-head. Irvin Magic Johnson was my favorite. He was my favorite person, as much as it pained my parents. I loved Magic Johnson the most. I left him 2 tickets to every volleyball game at Cal State Northridge when I had passes. I didn't even know him. I loved Irvin. Pictures all over my wall. All right? Irvin Magic Johnson 1-1, DeAndre, with Larry Bird. 87 was the year. So it's 2-1. But Boston's catching momentum. Magic down the lane, just what I thought. Hook shot of 12. Good. The Chick Hearn call to this day, all time. I've told this story before on air. I ran down the street, Gilmore, in the Valley. I didn't even know what was going down. I didn't even know that Larry Bird almost hit a shot over James Worthy to break our hearts. Lakers end up winning in 6. They blow them out at the Forum in Game 6 in front of our home crowd. That's a 2-1 lead, DeAndre. That's all I care about is 2-1.
Ooh, man. Just a great moment in Lakers history.
I got something for you guys.
What do you got for us?
5 seconds left. Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Good!
What I
2 seconds left. The Lakers take the lead on Magic Johnson's running sky hook. Woo!
I am so glad I got that right because it's been in my head my whole life, and I say it all the time. It's Magic Johnson down the lane, just as I thought. Hook shot at 12. Good! And by the way, just what I thought is the greatest line in broadcasting history. Nobody thought that, Chick. But you know what? The great Chicky did.
So smooth, so
Francis.
smooth.
Oh, man, that was all time. All time. Is it time? Time to go to break?
Time to go to break.
Time to go to break. Wow, 12 minutes left, and our captain is proud of us. And by the way, Jet and Talon winning.
Yeah.
I think it's over.
Hopefully so. Hopefully they get some ice cream afterwards, too.
Let's go for ice cream. ESPN LA 710.
It's DeMarco Farr and Travis Rogers for your afternoon drive.
Holy blank.
Unbelievable.
Miles Garrett?
Yep. Blank them picks.
Yeah. Damn right. I don't even care what they sent out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the first thing was wait, we got Miles Garrett. My first thought wasn't, well, what did we give up? It was, let's go.
DeMarco and Travis have taken over Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 3 p.m. on 710 ESPN.
Welcome to Milagro Tequila, where the sun shines, good times roll, and tequila pours. Take a sip of sunshine this summer with Milagro Tequila, crafted from 100% Blue Weber agave for bright flavor and exceptional smoothness. Shake up fresh margaritas with Milagro Silver. Mix the perfect paloma with Milagro Reposado, or enjoy the rich, smooth taste of Milagro Añejo on the rocks. Find Milagro at your favorite retailer, in-store, and online. Tequila never tasted brighter. Milagro Tequila. Please enjoy responsibly.
Los Angeles, your Rams have reloaded, and they're ready to kick off their 2026 campaign. Reigning Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett joins reigning MVP Matthew Stafford to lead the Rams into massive matchups against the Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys, Packers, and more. To experience every matchup live and enjoy home playoff ticket access, plus interest-free monthly payment plans and stadium event presale access, visit therams.com/2026. Again, that is therams.com/2026. Get your Rams season tickets today.
It's crunch time on Lakers Talk.
When the clock is ticking and it's all coming down to the wire, you know what that means.
This is crunch time.
We're back.
We're back. This is what we call crunch time, Geeter, where I'm just going to give you some rapid fire questions about the NBA.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
is this the home stretch? Is this the fourth quarter?
This
Are we
is
coming
the fourth,
down,
yes,
tie
this
game?
is crunch time.
Like,
Yes.
This is it.
This is it, man. This is game 2.
Solo
just like the other
mission
night.
with my guys.
Yeah.
Let's go. Does
All right.
DeAndre jump into this, or is it just me?
No. This is all of us.
Okay,
right
we're a
here,
team.
dude.
Just
And
making sure.
I'm just going to say just a few, RIPs to Stacey King.
Oh.
Chicago Bull legend and broadcaster. And also, we didn't say last week, RIP to Rick Adelman.
Rick Adelman, coach, and we had some great battles.
The wars, right?
The wars, and so much respect for what he was able to do. And by the way, every player that I ever talked to love Rick Adelman.
Not a bad word about Rick
Byron
Adelman.
Scott coached with Rick Adelman, was a huge mentor in his life. And you mentioned Stacey King. I reached out to one of my best friends in the world, is Judd Bushler. He played with the Bulls.
Oh, my God.
He was on
Mr. Volleyball,
He's
right?
one of my best friends in the world.
That's right.
And he told me that, he came right after Stacey.
Yes,
but
he
he's
did. Yes,
dear
yes.
friends with Stacey.
Yes.
So shout out there, Judd, and I'm sorry for your loss, but one of the all-time great guys, and he said one of the greatest storytellers that you would ever know. And you have those friends that are awesome
Great
storytellers.
broadcaster, too, man.
Great
Like, a lot of his
broadcaster,
calls
so-
went viral
Yeah,
the
man.
past couple
For
of
sure,
years,
for
too.
Give me
sure.
the hot sauce.
And speaking of Rick Adelman, happy birthday to Peja Stojakovic.
Peja, what do you guys remember about Peja? Because I'll tell you what I remember. Airball. Game 7.
On, bro. Wow.
Son's a baller, though, too.
Yeah, son's a baller, but one of the greatest shooters of all time. When he was on, he was on. And you hated him when he was on.
Hated him. By the
Hated
way,
him.
absolute bucket. Hated that entire team. It's amazing when you're younger and you sports hate someone.
Yeah.
And then later in life, you go, man, I kind of love that guy.
I love that guy. Like, I
right?
appreciate
And there's
his
some
game.
that you still hate.
Yeah.
Like, I still hate Danny Ainge. Right? But, like, Peja, Mike Bibby, Vlade, Weber. I mean, that whole team was just, what a battle. Jay Will in 2000, by the way.
It's so funny looking back 20 years back. Like, I kind of feel sorry that they didn't win one, dude, or couldn't get to the...
Can I tell you guys something real quick?
What's that?
This is amazing, but when my wife and I were dating, and it was right around that time, we would go to Sacramento for Thanksgiving. Her mom lived there, and they had a turkey trot early morning in downtown Sacramento, 6K. I'm sorry, 10K, 5K and a 10K. I would run it in full Laker gear. And this is at the heat and the heart
my God.
of the rivalry, and we were beating them. So the next fall, I'm wearing that gear, and I would just be running my 10K solo.
Oh, my God.
And I would be getting absolutely you-know-what on people yelling at me, and they'd be like, Lakers suck, and I would be jogging by guys, and I'm like, actually, they don't. We literally just won 3 titles. Like, we don't suck. We're actually so much better than you. Yeah, it was like my favorite thing.
Okay, so I'm curious, like the attire, is it like a jersey and shorts, or is it like a
Well,
a t-shirt?
it's cold.
Okay.
So let me tell you.
Okay.
Laker beanie.
Okay.
Long sleeve, tight shirt under Laker shirts.
Okay.
Okay, and then sweats.
Okay.
Oh,
Fully
man.
Lakered out.
Look
Okay,
at
all right.
you, man. Look at you,
–
man. Look like one of those guys outside the garden.
Listen, my 6-man beach volleyball team for the Manhattan 6-man, if you guys have ever heard about that tournament, it's a famous 6-on-6 beach tournament that goes on the first weekend of August in Manhattan Beach. My team for 20 years that won 5 titles, Team Fletch, Laker jerseys, fro wigs. You know what I'm saying, DeAndre.
Don't tell me you had an
I got
afro,
a picture
too.
I'm
Don't
going
tell
to
me you
show
had an
you.
afro, too.
Man, it was fake, but I roll it for 3 straight days, and I never take it off. Come on, man.
You say you, brother. You say you,
Come on, man.
I love you, man. Just real quick, a lot of Giannis to Miami picking up a lot of steam. What do you guys think is going to happen? I've heard from many, basketball pundits that this could happen in the next week or so.
So it's interesting, DeAndre. Miami actually has kind of massive financial flexibility. They're 43 under the first apron, 56 or 57. I was looking this up under the second apron, and you send over Hero and Wiggins and Hawkins Jr., the 28th first-round pick, the 30th first-round pick, the 13th pick of this draft, so 3 first-round picks, and you can absorb and take on Giannis, and you get your superstar that you have wanted for a long time, that you've been thirsting for since LeBron and D-Wade were gone, and you got that Heat culture, and defensively with Spoelstra, you can do amazing things. But, man, you're giving up a lot, and you got to build around that. But if you have a chance to get him,
look at all the names you listed. Look at all the names you listed. Hawkins Jr., Hero,
Andrew Wiggins,
Andrew Wiggins,
picks.
Picks.
I know.
Just to get Giannis. So then that team is not complete. So.
I know. I know.
Another issue they're going to
But
look
listen,
at.
Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, I mean, it's their culture, and I feel like if they do make this move, it is because they believe that Giannis can end his career, then maybe get him back, at least in the East, DeAndre, to close to the top. We'll see.
We'll see. That's a lot just to get
man, it
one
is a
guy.
lot. I know.
One guy.
We're going to wrap up soon.
Oh, is it almost over?
It's almost over. I'm sorry to say. Sorry to say
Like,
that.
what time are we off?
We're off in 30
56,
seconds.
50. Okay, listen up. Play those
32.
tunes. Play those tunes as we bump out. You know what I'm saying? We got DeAndre Hawkins. We got Michael Funches. We got Michael Trudell calling in. We got the chat room was absolutely on fire. My brother Beto Duran is in there. My guy. I want to thank Danny Green. I want to thank Dan Wojcicki. This is Laker Talk. I will see you next week with Mike Trudell in the chair. Peace out. Love y'all.
Mason in Ireland.
Myles Garrett, the newest Ram, is our guest.
The OGs of LA Sports Radio.
Hey, let me ask you, you wore a Godzilla t-shirt to the press conference. Tell me about the